The stadium lights burned bright, the stakes were high, and every snap carried the weight of playoff implications. For the Cleveland Browns, this was supposed to be a proving ground, a night to show they belonged in the thick of the AFC playoff hunt. Instead, it became a nightmare, one that unfolded with each missed throw, each sack, and each turnover that turned hope into heartbreak. At the center of it all stood Joe Flacco, a veteran once trusted to bring stability, now reduced to the symbol of everything holding this team back. From the very first series, the writing was on the wall. Flacco dropped back, scanned the field, and let the ball fly toward the sideline. Too high, too wide. A pass meant to spark momentum instead floated harmlessly out of bounds. That became the theme of the night. Throws that sailed, passes that died early, and reads that seemed a step too slow. Pressure mounted on him with every possession, and rather than rising to the moment, Flacco crumbled under its weight. Then came the blocked kick, a disaster that shifted the energy entirely to the opponent. It wasn't just a physical mistake. It was symbolic of the Browns unraveling. From there, it was interception after interception, each one more brutal than the last. One throw on the run was so egregiously off target that fans were left in stunned silence. He didn't just miss his man, he placed the ball directly in the arms of the defense. A gift-wrapped turnover that killed any lingering momentum and deflated an entire sideline. By halftime, the boos had already begun to rain down. Flacco's completion percentage hovered near 50%. His drives ended with punts or turnovers, and each possession bled away precious opportunities. The Browns weren't just losing. They were losing because their quarterback couldn't execute at the most basic level. In a game with so much on the line, Flacco's meltdown left the team with no chance of recovery. But amid the disaster, a spark emerged. Late in the game, as frustration boiled over and hope dwindled, Dillon Gabriel stepped onto the field. The rookie wasted no time. His very first pass attempt found the end zone, a crisp strike that reignited the crowd and breathed life into an offense that had been dormant all night. It was more than just points on the board. It was proof of what could be. Gabriel's throws had zip, precision, and confidence. Everything that Flacco's lacked. It didn't stop there. Every snap Gabriel took carried a different energy. The offense moved with rhythm. Receivers suddenly looked alive, and the team carried itself as if the chains had been lifted. For the first time all game, Cleveland fans could imagine what the future might look like. A future without Flacco. And that future is already being written behind the scenes. Offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave has made it clear that the organization isn't leaving anything to chance when it comes to developing its young quarterbacks. Shador Sanders, the highly anticipated prospect, is being groomed deliberately and carefully. Musgrave has emphasized that every detail of Sanders' preparation is being tailored to ensure that when his time comes, he won't just be ready, he'll be poised to seize control of the franchise. Sanders' presence looms over every conversation. Though he hasn't stepped onto the field yet, the buzz around him is undeniable. Team owner Jimmy Haslam is said to be pushing management to give him his shot sooner rather than later. Analysts like Colin Cowherd have already pointed out what seems inevitable. If losses continue to pile up, the pressure on head coach Kevin Stefanski and his staff will become unbearable, and the demand for Sanders' debut will become impossible to resist. The stakes are enormous. If Sanders takes the field and delivers even glimpses of the talent and composure that many believe he possesses, the calls for him to be the permanent starter will echo across Cleveland. His name will dominate headlines, and the city will rally around the belief that the Browns have finally found their long-term answer. For a franchise that has cycled through quarterbacks endlessly, that possibility is intoxicating. Still, it's not just about the quarterback. The Browns' issues go deeper. Flacco's turnovers were glaring, but discipline failures plagued the team across the board. Tip balls turned into interceptions. Special teams miscues flipped momentum. Missed assignments and poor execution left the Browns constantly chasing the game instead of controlling it. Stefanski himself admitted the obvious afterward. You can't be -2 in the turnover battle against a good team and expect to win. That margin is the story of the game, and until Cleveland cleans it up, no quarterback, rookie or veteran, will be enough to overcome it. The truth, however, is that Flacco has run out of excuses. His struggles aren't isolated incidents. They've become a pattern. From the opener, where his 2 costly interceptions derailed a winnable contest, to this most recent humiliation, his mistakes are defining games. The Browns have fought hard. Their defense has kept them in striking distance, and flashes of offensive potential have surfaced. But time and again, Flacco has squandered those chances with poor decisions and errant throws. That's why the decision now feels unavoidable. The Browns are at a crossroads, and sticking with Flacco is a road to nowhere. The future has already begun to knock on the door, and Dillon Gabriel's brief appearance was the first glimpse. Shador Sanders waits in the wings, his development prioritized by coaches who see him as the franchise cornerstone. The only question left is how long Cleveland is willing to wait before turning the page. If the Browns act boldly, they can reshape their season. Handing the reins to Gabriel or Sanders isn't just about replacing a quarterback. It's about injecting life into a locker room that desperately needs belief. It's about giving the fans a reason to cheer again. And most importantly, it's about setting the tone for the future, rather than clinging to a past that no longer works. Because at the end of the day, Joe Flacco's era in Cleveland isn't just nearing its end, it's already over. What remains is whether the Browns are willing to embrace the change that everyone can see is coming. So now the question falls to you, Browns fans. Is it time to officially move on? Should Dillon Gabriel, with his sharp debut, get the next start? Or should the organization fast-track Shador Sanders and let him ignite the franchise with his raw talent and confidence? Can Kevin Stefanski and his staff fix the discipline issues that doomed this game? Or will coaching continue to hold back the team's potential? The answers will define not just this season, but the future of the franchise. And one thing is certain, the Browns can no longer afford to live in denial. Change is coming. The only question left is how soon?